How can you be a fucking spiritual person and respect is not the first thing on your agenda? Tell me. Do y'all got an answer for that? Because I need to understand. How the fuck can you be so tapped in, so spiritual, so in tune with nature, so in tune with the Most High, so grateful for everything, and yet the biggest thing on your agenda is not fucking order and respect? How? How, Sway? There's fucking respect in nature. There's respect in the animal kingdom. There's a certain knowing and understanding that like all things have in order to like live together and be in one. But how is it that humans, that is the last thing on our agenda? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm recording these thoughts because I just had a conversation with someone, and the stuff that I've just been reflecting on, a lot of y'all's favorites, not even y'all's favorites, a lot of people who say they out here doing this work, a lot of people who have appointed themselves, and not even appointed, to be honest, you might want to trust a fucking lone wolf in the jungle doing it on their own more than you would the nigga who done paid stacks and racks on racks for certificates and for fucking initiations to say that they are something. Like, you might want to trust a nigga who has just been out there fucking having to get it. Who initiated the first initiates? That is the thing I ask everybody, and nobody has a fucking answer. You know why they don't have answers? Because they forget it was fucking spirit. What is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with these niggas? What is wrong with y'all? Get y'all's cousins. Get y'all's cousins. Teach these niggas some manners. Having manners is not fucking capitalistic. Having respect is not fucking misogyny. Like, y'all need to... Y'all need to chill. Y'all need to chill. I think singing those notes just made me feel better. So we'll see what this video gets attached to, because it's going to be attached to something. Maybe it's inspiring something. It's inspiring something. I'm coming for these niggas. All these niggas. All these everything, all these lifestyles, all these things got a fucking agenda. Whether it's the fucking spiritual community, whether it's the gay niggas, whether it's the black niggas, all these fucking things that we create trauma bonds with in order to like run to our fucking toxic individuality and hold on to our fucking parasitic ass identities. All of these things that we have created trauma bonds with are the very things why we're fucking crumbling. Like, woo. All of these things have agendas. All of those communities. Everybody's out here trying to be divisive, pointing fingers at each other. Everybody's trying to say this community's doing it worse. All of y'all niggas got agendas, okay? The religious niggas, all you niggas got agendas. All you niggas are out here dividing people. All you niggas are delusional, okay? All of y'all. I'm a fucking free agent. That's why I'm a free agent. Niggas is delusional. Woo! Okay, I was a little turned. And my nails are still busted. Some niggas need your dad. Some niggas need your dad. It's for the world crowd. Some people need your dad. Hey. Some people need your dad. Hey. Some people need your dad. Some niggas need your dad. Some niggas need your dad. Some niggas need your dad. Clearly more calm, tranquile in this video. Yeah, see, Rosemary agreed. I'm chilling. We chilling. If you can hear music in the background, it's because my neighbors are turning up. It's Belize holiday. Shout out to Belize. What I'm really trying to say, what I'm really trying to express, what I am really coming to understand and learning in my own journey and my own experience is that We come from a culture that suffers from toxic individuality, okay? The only way we know in the idea and the concept of being an individual, the only way that we know and understand individuality is through trauma, is through toxicity, is through having a trauma bond with it. We oftentimes use individuality as a way to escape from our normalized lives and experiences. And our normal lives, most times we don't really appreciate them. A lot of the times, a lot of us resist and rebel from home, from what we were taught. And as a society, as a culture, we are in a time, we are in an age when we are being called, that energy, that rebellious nature, that it's in the air for us to question authority, for us to question the systems. But what I'm realizing is that as humans, we are struggling with the concept of having to question ourselves and having to really not even just question ourselves, because I think we do that a lot to sometimes distract, but to also take accountability for ourselves and the parts of ourselves that have not only made the systems be the way they are, but that have sustained the systems in being the ways that they are. So I'm speaking from my experience of what I have realized, even thinking about the world and everything that's happening right now. I am a person of color. Obviously, I am American born, you know, and being a Black woman born in America, there are a lot of ways that the only way that I have anything is if I hold on to my identity, if I hold on to the concept of Blackness, if I hold on to the concept of what it means to be American in my own way. Because even though people forget this, Black people hold on to Blackness because we don't feel like we can hold on to being American. That's a whole nother conversation, a whole nother video. But all of us in some way, especially people born in America, and especially people who are influenced by America, which is everybody, okay? Because the whole world be over there fucking drinking the Kool-Aid, for real. Like, but anybody who is influenced by America suffers from this in a lot of ways. And what happens is we get so caught up in our identities, because our identity, we're constantly fighting for our identity. We're constantly fighting for somebody to acknowledge and validate our existence and our identity. So in doing that, we hold on to things. We're fighting for freedom, and in order to fight for freedom, the way we've learned to fight for freedom is to apply chains to ourselves, labels, identities, titles, like material shit, like, what's that word? Like stuff you've, like acclimates, things like that. Like we layer that stuff on top of us, and then we contradict ourselves and go outside and say, I'm fighting for freedom. I'm fighting to be who it is that I want to be. It's like, no, you're fighting to be who it is you said you were, which is normally, I'm a Black person, I'm a this, I'm a this person, I'm a that person, I'm a this, like, I'm a mom, you know, like, I'm a this, like, it's always a, you know, and it's just interesting when we don't recognize the ways in which us holding on to our identities, because we hold on to it through trauma bonds, and because we hold on to it through toxicity, and not even just our identities, but our lifestyles, because all of those things that I've mentioned, even in that rant, when you think about your religion, when you think about the queer community or the LGBTQ community, because that community has had to form together based on sexuality, because that is the thing that it essentially was resisted for in the first place. The same with Black people. Black people come together on their color, because that is the thing that we face resistance with. So normally the lifestyles that we choose, we come to them from unhealthy places. It's not very common for people to be balanced and for people to actually have a healthy relationship with the things in which they're building and doing. That's just the world that we live in. Like, that's just the times that we're living. That's not a judgment. That's not it's nobody's fault. It's just, that's just what it is. And so, why am I saying all of this? Because there's a lot of ways in which we are, I don't know, like, there's just certain words, certain things, like people get so caught up on being politically correct. People get so caught up on what is that, respectability politics. Like, that shit is real, okay? And people do it down to the very simple parts of our personalities and the ways that we engage with others and the ways in which we build relationships. And I've noticed it very strongly in the spiritual community, especially in the Black community and in the fucking queer community, LGBTQ community. Like, these communities, because we're such minorities, because our struggles are so right now in our eyes, you know, like people of color, like not even just Black people, but people of color, Black and brown people, indigenous people in general. Like, but because our traumas, because our struggles feel so right now, we oftentimes get caught up in that. We have oppression Olympics, and we're all just fighting to be triggered, fighting to be a victim, fighting to be whatever. And then we're using these lifestyles, we're using these communities, we're using these hobbies, these things as a way to enforce those trauma bonds, and as a way to enforce these unhealthy connections, and also as a way to stop us from actually growing and elevating and evolving as a spiritual being, having a human experience. And then we just walk around being full of shit, to be honest. Okay? You know, and that's why I say, I don't know, like, even with people, it's like a thin line, okay? You know, because I don't believe in hierarchies. I don't believe in people being above people. I don't believe that anybody is better than anybody, but I do believe in order. And I do believe in some ways, time. And it's not even time in the way that we think about it with a clock, but when you think about the time it takes from a seed to germinate to the time that it's going to sow you a harvest, you know, or reap you a harvest, you know, like, because the seed is sown, you know, that to me is time. And it's like, that is a process. There's always a process for everything. And if people knew how to honor their own processes, they would know how to honor other people's processes. And if you actually knew how to honor other people's processes, you could see the places where other people's processes may be a little ahead on the journey, or may have something to give for you, or you may have something to give for other people. But I feel like most people are still having a very toxic, and people are in a situationship with people are in a situationship with their identities, okay? And most of y'all identities is fraud. And somebody had to say it. So I'm saying it. But now that I got that off my chest, I think I feel better. And I don't know. If you like to debate me, do it in the comments. I cannot trust a person who cannot trust themselves. I cannot trust a person who cannot be real with themselves. A person who lies to themselves is dangerous, because they'll lie to you. And a person who believes their own lies is even more dangerous, okay? Because they'll have you believing them too. And then you're going to turn into a liar. And then you're going to start lying about it. And see, it just becomes a vicious cycle. It just becomes a vicious cycle. So I do think this is, I don't know, like, it bothers me. It really does bother me. Like, it irks me. And it's also the reason why I stay to myself. As much as I be like, oh, you know, I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to be, not trying. As much as I'm like, oh, I'm an artist. As much as I'm like, I know I have stuff to share. I know I have stuff to share with the world. And I know I'm Aquarius energy, okay? You know, in the world, but not of the world, okay? Like, and I think we actually need to recognize what that means, you know? Like, you know, and I don't know. My mom always just say common sense ain't common, and I'm starting to understand her. I used to be so mad at her for all her ways in which she was just a walking parable. That would just be. But now I get her. I'm gonna call her after this and be like, Mama, I get you. I get her. Like, because people just, I don't know, it's very easy to be fraud. And it's funny because even think about Aquarius energy, people talk about like cult like mentality, but it's like, it's not the cult leaders that you need to be worried about anymore. It's the niggas who are willingly going into cults that are now going to become the problem. Like, you know, that have always been the problem, but it's like, just sit with that for a little bit. Just let that sink in, you know? And I don't know. I said what I said. And the reason why I was so irritated in that video even was because I spent a lot of time actually caring about people's feelings and caring about their experiences. And so I feel like a lot of the times I avoid conflict, and I avoid even letting my voice get big or loud, because I don't like hurting people. Like, I don't like hurting people. I want everybody to feel heard. I always see both sides. No matter, even if I don't want to, I always see both sides. And so I would rather keep the peace and keep harmony, but I am learning that in the world that we are living in right now, obviously with discernment, you know, because you pick and choose your battles. But when those things come up, I am learning that some niggas need yelled at, okay? Some niggas need just told about themselves. Some people, now you're going to have to just start telling facts, not even opinions, not even whatever, but just, there's no more room, no more space for anything else. And I don't know. Beware people who are pushing this narrative of, in my eyes, this is what the root of toxic positivity looks like. It's people who walking around here like, I'm a good person, I'm this, I'm that, but it's like, but they weak of spirit. You're not honorable though. You don't have integrity. So are you a good person? The road to hell is paved with good intention. So that's where it's at now. It's like, are you a good person? What does that even mean? You know? And it's a lot of people around you like, I'm a good person. Yeah, but it's like, but you're quiet. While watching other people die. You're quiet while watching yourself die. Like, you're delusional though. Are you a good person? You're delusional. Like, what is a good person? Are you an honorable person? Are you an upright person? Are you an honest and vulnerable person? You know? I ain't gonna keep going though. I'm just saying, if you mad, debate me in the comments. Like, if you happy, debate me in the comments. If you agree, like, drop a fucking sun. Drop a sun emoji. Cause we lighten it up. I come in peace. I come in harmony. I'm in the video now. Some niggas need yelled at. Some people need yelled at. Some niggas need yelled at. I hope that's not you. Some niggas need yelled at. Some niggas need yelled at, 'cause they don't hear you unless they get yelled at. This is on the sign. Some niggas need yelled at. Some niggas need yelled at, 'cause they don't hear unless they yelled at. Some niggas need yelled at. Ooh, some niggas need yelled at. Some niggas need yelled at, 'cause they don't hear unless they get yelled at. Da, 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 all I'm saying is, some of the craziest serial killers in the world were hella nice to all the people around them and in their lives. So beware niggas beware of people who smile in your face. Oh, no. Backstab. They smile in your face.